This is Interesting Shit. Cultural curiosities. We uncover and you discover with your host, Steve Hulford.
You know, an interesting fact about Los Angeles is that it sits on the third largest oil field in the United States. Before it was a movie town, it was an oil town. In the 1920s, Los Angeles produced a quarter of all the world's oil. Today, the industry is often hidden, either in plain sight or underground. So we're here to find oil in Los Angeles. This is the dark side of LA.
Today, the oil derricks that once dotted the beaches have now been replaced with man-made oil islands. They've been designed so that if you look at them from a boat or from the beach, they just look like tropical islands.
We're out near the beach. This is a massive Chevron oil refinery, the largest in California. We're underneath the streets of LA. Hundreds of pipelines feed this plant. In the 1920s, the Standard Oil Company of California, or SoCal for short, discovered the Inglewood oil fields. This area here was covered in nothing but oil derricks as far as the eye could see. The Inglewood oil field was the largest oil field in the Los Angeles area, and it's still the most active today, with tons of pump jacks still going, still pumping for oil. The oil industry is an ugly and smelly affair, let's face it. So here in Los Angeles, they've gone to great lengths to hide this from everybody. And there's no better example of that than here at Beverly Hills High School, where they have a 200-foot oil derrick. This thing is spitting off 150,000 barrels a year and generates around $300,000 a year for the high school. So no wonder they've got such great sports facilities.
There are lots of other hidden examples of the oil industry in LA if you know where to look. Like, check out this oil derrick, designed to blend into the neighborhood and look like a synagogue. Or the Packard well site. This fake building has 51 wells on site. The Beverly Center pumping station provides 500,000 barrels of oil and is part of a shopping mall in Beverly Hills. This is where oil first got its start in LA, the Brea Tar Pits, smack dab in the middle of the city. Oil and tar has been seeping out of the ground here for thousands of years. This area was known to Native Americans and Spanish explorers. The tar was used to patch holes in their canoes and boats and to pave the roads of LA in the late 1800s.
Wow, it smells like someone's been tarring their roof here. This pit behind me is where an oil field meets the surface, and it oozes thick black tar and oil. Researchers have found thousands of animal bones over the years, some as old as 40,000 years. They've pulled woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers out of this muck.
But it wasn't until 1892 that oil was officially discovered by Edward Doheny near what is now Dodger Stadium outside of downtown Los Angeles. His first oil well set off a massive oil and population boom and made Doheny a multimillionaire.
The story goes like this. Edward Doheny was walking downtown Los Angeles when he saw a man who had some tar on the bottom of his cartwheel. He asked him where the tar had come from, and he sent him here. Doheny and his business partner drilled by hand to a depth of 150 feet, and finally they hit rock. They got a 60-foot eucalyptus tree. They used that as a drill bit and finally dug oil. This was the site of the Los Angeles City oil field. And now, ironically, it's a parking lot. What would you expect in Los Angeles?
Soon this entire area was full of oil derricks and the oil boom was started. Here are some images of Toluca and Court Street in the early 1900s.
So this is Toluca and Court Street today. It's hard to imagine oil rigs lined up along these streets 150 feet high, but there was. So here I'm at the site of the very last oil well in the old Los Angeles City oil field. It's right behind this fence here. Let me just stand on my tippy toes here and shoot a little bit of video. I've asked a lot of Angelenos, and few seem to know the industry's even here. And we've seen why, because it's largely hidden. It's hidden in a high school football field, behind fake buildings, in a shopping center, and with 5 billion barrels of oil still in the ground here, this industry is going to be around for a long time to come. And I hope you found this to be some interesting shit.
Hit subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and make suggestions for the show by visiting interestingshit.com. Thanks for watching.